My recollection of the East Side is that the Syrians stuck together. We were always together. We were our own support group. We lived at 197 Clinton Street, corner East Broadway, around the corner from the Education Alliance. In my building was the Shudabev family, Mavora family, the Carey family, that's Mickey Carey's parents, and Mavora and Bechol Shweki. In the next building lived Yaakov Meborach's brother Binyamin. Okay, now our Hebdalahs on Saturday night were a 3-hour ordeal. It was a party every Saturday night with Hebdalah. Okay, we had to go to Binyamin's house one Saturday night for Hebdalah. We always lived on the very top floor. It was a twin building with a narrow alley about 40 inches between the two buildings. To save going down 5 flights of steps and then going up to Binyamin, a lot of the people went on the roof. Binyamin put a door as a plank between the two buildings as a walkway, and two grown-ups would stand, one on each side and the other, and take the people across. I don't think my family or I ever did that. I think we were afraid and we went down. We were all very close. We were, like I said, our own support group. But I do know Yaakov and Nizha Meborach much better because they were very close to my parents. Nizha Meborach used to come to visit my mother, and it was a very simple life. No telephones, knock on the door. She used to say, Hanne, fil beit, tfaddali. Go upstairs, sit by the window, have a cup of Turkish coffee, take an apple or an orange, whatever they had, and cut it into quarters and sit down very casually, very nice. I remember Nizha very well sitting with my mother. That I remember very, very well. As far as Isaac is concerned, he was best friends with my brother Dave. He was a very, very warm, wonderful person. He helped my brother in every which way. He was the only one that had a car. It was a maroon car. And he brought my brother's wife to the hospital, Israel Zion, which is now Maimonides. For her to give birth, Isaac Mavora always took my sister-in-law to give birth in Israel Zion Hospital. Another thing, when Dave lost his wife, Rose, we had to put the children in the orphan home in Rockaway. What did Isaac do? He took my father and Dave and all of us, the whole family, to Rockaway to see Judah, Sammy, and Jackie. He was that wonderful of a guy that he did a lot of hesed. I knew that he always not only helped us, but helped a lot of other people. He was his own Bikur Cholim. He was a gem of a person. And when he passed away, of course, my brother felt it very bad. I don't remember when he passed away.
26 Elul.
Pardon?
26 Elul.
Oh, I don't remember the
Just
year.
before it was 1971.
Oh, 1971. So he passed away before my brother. I know my brother felt his loss very, very much. There were beautiful days. We were happy. We had minimal. We were happy. So, therefore, that's my recollection of the East Side. And as far as any other incidents that I can remember, well, that's the East Side. But going back with Nizha, I remember her on 66th Street in Brooklyn. Much, much later, when she used to come and have a cup of coffee with my mother. I remember her, very, very sweet lady. And they were all dolls. They were all dolls. They were very, very, very appreciative to be in America. I think their life started here in America because they had such a difficult life over in Syria that they never had running water. So my mother always said she didn't start to live till she came here. She says, at least you open up the water, you get water, even if it's cold water. When we were on the East Side, we had no hot water. Our bathtubs were out in the hall. The bathrooms were out in the hall, one flight down. We had to share the bathrooms between 2 floors, okay? And we had to boil water. Of course, we had no Frigidairs. They used to put a box on the fire escape in the wintertime and put all the food out on the box on the fire escape. In the summertime, they used to buy a piece of ice, 10 cents or 15 cents. The guy used to come up with the pick on his back with a piece of ice on the burlap and put it in the ice box. We had a basin in the under the Frigidaire to keep emptying the water. This is all very primitive to all the people that are here today. Don't know what life was like years ago, but I'm happy to relate it to you. It's a memory in our East Side, and I recommend everybody read Sam Catton's book from the beginning, how the community started and all that, because he also gives you a good background on the community.
And my Aunt Molly, I remember you.
Aunt
you
Molly, I
many
remember,
things.
she was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful girl, blonde, fair, blue eyes, and my mother always says they're gonna grab her. They're going to marry her because we don't have many blondes in the community, and she's going to get married very young. And one time, the Metro Theater was across the street on 20th Avenue. We lived on 20th Avenue. Across the street was the Metro Theater. And she was very close to my sister Ray. And she told my sister Ray, let's go into the movies as children under 12. We'll pay a nickel. We'll pay a nickel, otherwise we have to pay adult price 10 cents. Let's pay a nickel and go in. And she took my sister and went into the movies. I remember that very well. She was a beautiful, beautiful girl, and she did get married young, and I knew her very well.
And Joe, my Uncle Joe.
Joe, I worked for Joe. He used to sew quilt covers. I remember working for Joe for maybe a day or two. I went to the factory. And I was sewing quilt covers. I didn't like the job because it's boring. It was all you had to do was sew straight seams. But I remember working for Joe. Mm-hmm. I remember him very well. He was a very cheerful, smiley person, very jolly, always had a nice word to say about everybody, greeted everybody warmly, mm-hmm. and was a pleasant, pleasant, pleasant person. Very pleasant, very nice, very warm, very pleasant, and I have very nice recollections of him. Very nice. I knew the family very well. We were very close to the Mavora family. I went to Isaac Mavora's engagement to Celia Barry. I remember the engagement. I remember sitting there when they got engaged. It was in the house. I don't remember much, but I remember the engagement that he got married, that he got engaged to Celia Barry. Oh. And we were very close to the children of Esther Barry because I was friendly with Esther. I remember Celia Barry was a very quiet, nice, reserved person. She was very, very humble, very nice. She and Isaac were a lovely, lovely, humble couple. I don't remember too much about her. I think maybe I got married at the time. I don't remember too much about it, but I do remember going to her engagement and maybe even possibly her wedding. And I remember the Barry family very well. They lived on 66th Street after a while. I'm not sure. 66th Street. And we were close. In those days, we were all close. Everybody needed everybody. Everybody needed everybody. There was no airs about anybody. And then, of course, Esther Barry, I knew married Dave Barry, Celia's brother. And the children of Esther Barry and Ronnie Barry, the children of Esther with Dave, that's Ronnie, Harvey, and Elliot. We grew up together with them. My children grew up together with them, and they're very, very lovely boys. But Esther Barry was a lovely, lovely person. She was a friend of mine, and she unfortunately passed away very young. Yes. But I do remember the family very well.
Thank you so much for this interview.
Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Can't think of anything. I gave you background of your mother,
beautiful.
As far as I know.
Beautiful.
I don't know.
Thank you, Mrs. Ceil Ashkenazie, for doing this beautiful interview. We are truly, truly blessed to have you remember all this. It should be
Thank you.
zechut for you and your family, and good health and happiness, everything. Amen.
Thank you. The very best to you and yours and the entire family. My love to everyone. Have a wonderful holiday.
Amen.